Yashvi, and Yashvi started out in BlueLearn as a community moderate man, as a member actually, and then she became a community moderator, and then she rose ranks, and she's also doing her bachelor's in planning. She's a musician, and more importantly, for this session, she is a content writer. And in 8 months, she grew her Twitter audience from 0 to 8K. So when we wanted to do an event about like growing on Twitter, we needed to call Yashvi to the stage because that was such a obvious example for us to show you guys. And she's also the marketing. She's also taking care of marketing at BlueLearn currently. So hi Yashvi, hi.
Hi. Thank you for the introduction. Yeah, cool.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
yeah. So I think yeah, we could just like ask like how did you get started? Like why did you choose Twitter and uh why Twitter and how did you start like from 0 to 8K? That's such an interesting way to go because the first 8K or 5K is the hardest, right?
Yeah. So for me personally, I'll be very honest, completely honest. This was completely accidental. Until it wasn't. So in the initial as far as I remember, from 0 to 500, uh, till I think 1.5K, 2K, 3K, and and until like 4K. I kind of just used the platform because I really liked it. I really liked how it was not a surface level content platform, and we could actually learn things properly here, and connect with people in a very different way from Instagram. And that's why I kept on using the platform. And another thing was that spaces started at that time as well, where in the pandemic, which was like the best part for me. Because of course I loved meeting new people, as well as it gave me a platform to sing. So this can be like different for everyone, but this was my story. And that is when I realized, okay, there are certain things that I can do which can make me grow on Twitter, even if I'm not taking it seriously. It never hurts to build a good distribution that adds up. Like if you go to a company for an interview, let's say if you have a good skill set and a huge distribution, and then there's another candidate who has like normal skill set, just like you, and no distribution, you're of course going to get that. And this is something that you can monetize anytime. Let's say I want to promote some of my services, let's say consultation calls for marketing or something like that. It's like my one stop answer to everything. Like I already have people with whom I have built a certain level of trust, which are who are likely to go ahead with it as well. So never, for me, it was like I can do it, so I should. It was just another thing that I added up until like very recently, since a month or something, where I actually started taking content creation as a proper thing, because I really like writing. I really like content creation itself. So that was like my journey for Twitter. I've met like really cool people on Twitter. I've worked with a lot of them. A few of them got hired at BlueLearn, and like I've met some of them in real life as well. And these are like some of the people I really look up to today as well. So this was my whole journey of growing till 8K. Do have like a lot of things that I can add up and divide this whole session into. But before that, if you have any other questions, I can answer that first.
Yeah, so yeah, that's great. So yeah, how do you get like the first like 100? Let's say I joined Twitter tomorrow, right? What was your at the start? Were you just like posting content that you liked, or did you always know that you're gonna post this type of content?
No, in fact, till today, I don't know what exactly I want to post, which I think is kind of liberating as well, because I don't narrow down my content into one category. Like, I still have a lot to explore. But I think in the beginning, first few hundred followers, I think most of it. So I can divide this in three parts. One is content consumption, as well as what I am tweeting. Second, engagement with other accounts, and with them engaging on my account. And third, building a good network that helps you grow your Twitter as well. Now, one mistake, I'll explain all three steps in detail properly. But before all of that, one mistake that I did was that I never cared about what my profile picture was, what my bio was, what my link was, and what my pin tweet was. Like, this was something that I realized very later on that it matters a lot. It's like a first impression that you get. It's like you are meeting somebody for the first time, and these are the things that gives you like a very superficial surface level idea of them, on basis of which you decide to like have a connection. You decide to follow them or engage with their content. So all these things, starting from a profile picture. Let's say if I have like 5,000 followers on Instagram, if I have the same profile picture on Twitter, some people who already have seen my content on other platforms are likely to follow me. So this gives like a familiarity kind of a thing. Second is like a bio, really crisp bio where it explains what exactly you are doing and you're tweeting about, and what is your work, what are your hobbies, anything that you can include. And let's say it doesn't fit, you can add it in your header as well. For me, because it was about music and spaces and a lot of life things, I kept it like a simple picture that kind of felt very calming. So I didn't give it that much of a thought for my header, but people do create like proper headers with things that they want to let the person who's looking at the profile know. And then third thing, your link, like where are you taking them? Are you taking advantage of your other socials? Like, do you want them to follow on other socials? Do you want them to go to your any of your services or any monetization tools that you have or services that you have? So that is the third thing. And fourth is the pin tweet that you have. It should kind of represent your content. It should kind of represent who you are and what you're posting about. So that's like the first impression. This was a mistake that I made and didn't work upon for like a very long time. And I believe this is something that everyone should optimize, and it's something that should be like the first thing that you should do. After that, coming to the 3 points that I mentioned before, like content, engagement, and building network. Now, Twitter is not just about posting content. It's not just about tweeting. It's like I think if I give a very rough number, tweeting is just 30%, 40% of it. And if you're a new account, tweeting is just 20%, 30%. And if you're a big account, maybe 50, 60%. Apart from that, like you can just keep the basic things clear. Like, you can tweet twice or thrice a day or even more. You can kind of create like a particular niche that you want to tweet about, or you can write threads like twice a week. You can write threads. You can make sure that you are making the best use out of the trends that are going on. You can try to use keywords so that your tweet gets more reach because of those keywords. There's like a lot of analysis that you can do. This is like 30% of it. Apart from that, engagement is something that helped me grow, and I think is something that is extremely important on Twitter, and I think as well as LinkedIn. Now, unless I interact with other people's content, I'm not gonna network, I'm not gonna make friends, or I'm not gonna connect with other people on the same platform who are trying to grow as well. So if I'm engaging with them, they will engage with my content. So this is like I'm not saying you should keep it like I'm engaging because I want them to engage back, but it's something that works out really well. Apart from that, like just connecting with a lot of people. Let's say there's somebody else who has like 200, 300 followers. I start engaging with them, create a good connection, maybe send a DM. Sending a DM itself is like a huge thing. I'll talk about that later. It's like a secret sauce of Twitter, but that's for later. But building this network that keep on engaging with your content, and the same that you do for their content. It's like a creator. It creates kind of a this effect. I don't know what it's called, network effect, something like that. And that's how you get like more and more reach. And then the more you tweet, the more your frequency is, the more consistent you are, the better your reach will be as like you grow your followers. So this is like something that helps the best in growing your Twitter from 0 to 100, 500 or 1,000 or even more.
Yeah, so content, engagement, and building a network, that makes a lot of sense. And I think
Yeah.
not not a lot of people think about like the header and like you mentioned the profile picture. Even I don't think I have a Twitter right now and I haven't actually have a print feed or something like that. So I think yeah, now that you mention it, that's the first thing that people see in your account. So
Yeah.
yeah. So and what do you think would you choose instead of Twitter? Let's say Twitter is such an interesting platform, right? Because I'm really into this Web3 space and stuff, and you get to learn a lot from Twitter. And that's not the same for something like Instagram and something like LinkedIn. Why do you think Twitter has the reach that some other social medias don't?
Um, some points that I can add up here is that one, it's like short form content, but it's valuable. So for Instagram, a lot of content, majority of the content is very superficial. That's one thing. Second, which I think is the most important factor, is that like the one-on-one connection, like the social aspect of social media is extremely high on Twitter. On LinkedIn, it still feels like it's very formal, it's very uh, on a surface level. For Twitter, it's like you are almost building a whole community. You are becoming a part of a community. I think that's Twitter is like the closest you can get to creating your own community. That I think is the best part why Twitter is really good. Um, Apart from that, I think I just feel like Twitter has the smartest folks um, uh, compared to other platforms, which I think makes it really great as well. So these points I would say makes Twitter better than any other platforms. Yeah. Um, okay. It looks like it's just me. Um, Yeah, if you all have any questions, you can just send it in no mic later on. We'll keep it open for audience questions later. So yeah, yes,
Yeah,
Rick.
we could do that. Yes. Yeah. So let's speak about these three things you mentioned, right? Content, engagement, and building a network. So let's get to engagement. So when you're just replying to tweets, something that's really important. Like let's say reply to like really good for tweets of really like established people. How important? Very important, especially in your ages. Does it come under
Um,
engagement? Like let's like dive deep into each of these like subdivisions.
cool. Let's start with engagement. Yeah. So there are three things that we can consider here. Engagement. That you are like giving to other accounts, and engagement that you are getting from other people. Now, firstly, let's talk about how you can get in touch with really huge personalities on Twitter. This is like also one of the best things about Twitter. Somebody you can literally get connected with somebody who has 8K, 100K followers, or even more than that, 200K, 300K, and it's very much possible to do that. You can follow certain steps, like let's say we talked about having a profile picture. Now if I give you a very simple example of my personal experience, if there's somebody who is replying to my tweet a lot, I'm going to appreciate them as a follower because they are increasing the engagement, first of all. And second, I'm going to remember their profile picture first thing. And second will be their username. So this is also another thing, like your username also should be something that people can directly search up. But firstly is like profile picture. Now, this is the first step. If I remember their profile picture, I'm likely to reply to their DMs as well. Now, let's say this person has engaged for a while on my content and they want to learn something from me. What they can do is they can directly send a message, and there's like a proper way that you can, proper structure that you can follow, so that it's not like just another hi that everyone gets and nobody wants to reply to. You can say something nice about the content, or you can give some constructive criticism that can help them. And then following to that, you can introduce yourself, and then later on in the last part, you can ask a question to continue the conversation. So this is like the best way, after they get familiar with your profile. This is like the best way to connect connect with them one-on-one. So this is the one part that this is the one thing that you can use to kind of, let's say if you want to invite somebody to your podcast, or collaborate with somebody, or want to learn something from them directly, or if you have any questions, it's like the framework that you can follow, and most likely it will work, and that's the best part here. So that's the engagement that you give, that's like reaching out to other people. Apart from that, there is building your entire network of engagement. So for me, at that time, and even till now, the reason why I connect with a lot of people, and like the reason why I engage on other people's content is that, like, I really find it genuine. That's like, that of course should be the first reason, but then second is also that I'll get to connect with them, and I'll make some friends, I'll make some connections, I'll network enough so that my follower base also grows. And if they engage with my content, my tweet, let's say if they comment on my tweet or reply to my tweet will also go to some of their followers who are actively following them. So this is like a multiplication of the whole thing that happens. I don't know what exactly it's called. Again, I'm forgetting the term, but this is like the power of engagement. It's like how one of your friend replies on your LinkedIn post, and then their followers will do the same. Like, this is something that's common on LinkedIn and Twitter both. This is very important. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Like, always having conversations in your tweets, comments is something also that can pan out well, because it again pushes out your tweet to their followers, pushes your tweet to your followers again as well. Some people like keep retweeting their tweet as well, just to push it in the topmost section of their followers feed. But yeah, this is like the crux of what engagement can do, and I feel like it's the best and the most important part of Twitter and growing on Twitter.
Makes a lot of sense, right? Yeah, I think especially when you repeat it, like old content and your new followers get to know about it, and it's really good content. That's engagement. Yeah, makes a lot of sense. So let's speak about like content, and like what are the type of content that you admire? Like now you have like 8K followers, but now you see some other account and like, yeah, this person has really nailed the content. Like, what's your inspiration for Twitter, and what type of content do you produce? Let's speak about these two things.
All right. Okay. So this is a little tricky for me. If I talk about my personal Twitter, again, till like 4,000, 5,000, I never really cared about what I'm posting. I just started tweeting random things that came to my mind, which also sometimes works out really well for people. And that worked out well for me as well, on top of music. But so in general, content for Twitter, you can divide it in certain two ways. One, you're tweeting a single tweet, and second, you're tweeting a thread. Like, you're writing a whole thread with like multiple tweets in that thread. Let's talk about the first one, like a single tweet. Can be anything that you are interested in, that you found interesting, or you think that was very hilarious, or a meme, or a review, or an appreciation for somebody, or something relatable that you found, or like something that you learned today, or a question that you want to ask, or something that just randomly crossed your mind. So it's so vastly broad that we can't really narrow it down to certain things. Now, if you reach a certain level where you are very clear about what exactly you want to post about, that is when it gets a lot easier for you to post content. That is when you kind of have established your niche, and then you're posting content just about that, and people are following you because of that. Which kind of makes it a lot easier for them to understand what you are doing and what you're going to post about. So they'll expect a certain thing, they'll get it as well. So let's say if I give an example of, let's say somebody is into copywriting, then they can write a lot about that, connect with such folks, and it will get a lot easier for them to navigate through that particular community on Twitter. compared to somebody who doesn't know what they are posting. So one, it's okay to post whatever you want to post, as long as, let's say, it's giving some value to somebody or making them feel relatable or something like that. And second, if you have narrowed down your niche, that is like the best case scenario. So these are like 2 points. This is about the content that you post. Now, something else that I think is not really talked about is content consumption on Twitter. Twitter has some really, really good tools through which you can navigate through a lot of things. You can so I'll say specific things that you can create lists that you want of people that you want to interact with, or uh, like one particular list that you want to see for certain kind of topic. You can create all of that. There are keywords that you can follow. There you can like mute certain words and all of that. So it's like, if for Instagram and any other platforms, it's like you just mindlessly scrolling through content. For Twitter, it's like for every tweet that you read, this is something that I read today itself. I think Mitesh Dubey or somebody tweeted this, but it said that every minute that you spend reading one tweet is your time taken away from reading something else. So like making sure that your entire feed is something that constantly gives you inspiration, and that constantly like feeds into your information system, or at least something that you want to follow and consume, is like way easier on Twitter. So it's something that I really like about Twitter as well. But yeah, that's pretty much it about the content part. One thing I forgot was about threads. Now, this is something that I'm also exploring right now, but there are a few key things that I figured out. One, make sure that a lot of people can read it. If it's like way too specific, it's not going to reach a lot of people. Second, try to use keywords in your first tweet, and try to use images that are attractive enough for people to kind of just click it in one go. And third, use titles that are really clickbaity. Now, this goes for all the platforms, but I'm just going to mention it for Twitter as well. So something that can either spark their curiosity, or something that makes them feel extremely related, or something that like touches some kind of emotion, so that they are likely to open the whole thread. And once the whole thread is like very nicely written, the last thread you can write that if you like the content, you can retweet and follow and all of that. Like give a proper CTA for them to do, for them to kind of do the next thing. Don't leave them open. So that's one. And for Twitter content, one thing that is really good is that there are just 280 characters in one tweet. So just read your tweet if you're tweeting one tweet, or read your entire thread and then think about it. Like, do I need extra words in this tweet? Do I need this particular word in this tweet, or can I just remove it? The shorter, the crisper content is, the better it's going to be for the reader as well. Like nobody wants to read like a whole ass paragraph that is just saying one very small thing. So that's something that you can optimize, and that's something that you can always just work on over time, and you'll get better at it once you start writing. So that's for the content part of it.
Yeah, yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Yeah, I think the fact that the Twitter has such like 280 characters, like you mentioned, it makes people think a lot, right? They have to like give the information in the shortest way possible, so it's like as engaging, I think. Yeah, so I think we have covered two of the three things that you spoke about. So last thing is building a network, and people do that a lot on Twitter, right? People make community, like you said, like the best place to build a community is in Twitter, and the best place to meet people, DM people is Twitter. So how does that work? Like, what is building a network? Like, let's go like a bit more.
Yep. Okay. So again, like some of the things I explained earlier, but building a network on Twitter is like really easy compared to any other platforms on any other places. Um, as I mentioned, you can always try to follow those steps. Like you can always try to engage with their content, and then send a DM to for whatever reason you want to send it to. You can kind of help each other grow. For me, I first started with like content that was very chilled out and followed certain people that were not exactly looking to grow their Twitter. But then later on, once I actually started growing on Twitter properly, I stumbled upon this whole startup community on Twitter and started learning a lot from people. And I still remember having like a few calls from people who taught me a lot of things about marketing itself, about growing on Twitter itself, or writing, or any other things that I would be interested in. As a musician, also, I got to sing and collaborate with a lot of people. Some of them I've also invited on BlueLearn itself, that some of you might have heard of. Then, in general, met some people in real life also that are like really good friends right now. Like the same how I made friends on Discord, it's the same with Twitter. So this is like a really good opportunity that I think everyone should grab. And let's see, if you want to reach, I'm going to give the most extreme example. Let's say you want to reach Naval. Okay, this is too much. Let's say you want to reach Ankur Warikoo. Keep interacting with his tweet. Keep like engaging with his content. Reply to his tweets. Like some people actually like turn these people's notifications on and then directly reply, because they get attention that way very quickly. And if you really have like a certain goal that you want to achieve, this is like the best way that you can do it. Turn on their notifications, post notifications, and then whenever they tweet, think about something, like give a constructive reply, give something that either adds some value, or something that makes them question something as well, or some constructive criticism or some appreciation. So any of this you can send, and then they are likely to look at it, remember your profile picture, remember your profile itself, and once they get familiar with you, they are very much likely to get connected as well. And once that is done, whatever goal that you have, maybe inviting them over for a podcast or something, you can fulfill that after this. So I think this is like the best benefit that you can take away from Twitter, and it's something that is very important, like networking in general. So yeah, that's pretty much it for building a network.
Yeah, yeah, great, great. So, yeah, so let's like we have more than like 80 people on this call, and I'm not sure how many of them have a really good Twitter handle, but let's assume all of them are beginners. I'm definitely a beginner. So, what is like a Twitter 101? Like, what is the first thing I should look at once I go to my profile if I'm starting to like build Twitter? Like, I should first put a header maybe, and then put a better profile picture, and then change my bio and stuff. So, what are like 5 steps, five steps that people should do if they're just starting out?
Okay. First thing, your profile picture. Keep it same as all the socials and keep it something normal. Second, your name. Keep it something that is not so complex, like Yashvi Dhruv 5768920 grow. Something like that is not gonna work. Third, optimize your bio. Write down exact words. Don't use hashtags. It doesn't work that way on Twitter. Like write down where you're working, what you're tweeting about, or why you're on the platform, or something like that. Very crisp in like the shortest form possible. Um, Fourth, put a header. You can write something, you can create something, or you can put like a simple picture as well that represents you or something like that. And fifth, optimize your link and pin tweet. And then after that, like the pin tweet should be something that represents your content. So that is one. And after that, you can start posting consistently. And this is like the first roadmap that you can follow if you're starting out with Twitter.
Yeah, great, great. Sure. Yeah, I guess we could do like a experiment here. Now that we have 83 people on the call, let's see, like, let's just, one of your first tweets could be, you could
Um,
just tag BlueLearn and say what you learned. And
your
also you
voice
could
is
move on to
breaking.
audio.
I'm not
Hello?
sure if it's my internet.
Okay. Am I audible right now?
Uh, can you just give me 1 minute? I'll just change my internet and come back and make sure there is nothing wrong from my side.
Okay, no, no problem. Is it Yash, and is it from my side, by the way? Can anyone give me? Oh, Dhruv, are you here? Cool. By the way, if you guys have questions, you could put it in the No Mic channel, and I'll try getting Ashmi to answer them. So let's do that. So you could also get some, space to ask. And she has a lot of knowledge. So.
Hey, hi, can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Yes, I
Is
can
it?
hear you as well. I'm so sorry. Yeah.
Okay, no problem. Yeah. So, what do you want to do next? Let's move on to audience questions, or I think
Um.
people have a lot of questions.
Yeah,
Do
yeah,
you
that will
have
be.
more to say?
No, no. So I don't have anything else that I wanted to cover. I think your questions have covered most of the things. I think we can take audience questions now.
Okay. So there's one question from Amber Noah. I hope I'm
Mhm.
pronouncing it right. So, he's asking how to prevent your content from plagiarism at Twitter.
Simply don't plagiarize your content. Write something original. Yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense. And yeah, let's move on to the next one. I think. And okay, so I think one more thing you already spoke about is how to write engaging threads in Twitter.
Yeah, so as I mentioned before as well, right, like really catchy title, then having like a really something that can spark curiosity, something that makes them relate, or something that can touch some kind of emotion that they can relate the tweet to. That is like the first tweet, and then following that is like a whole thread that is not too long and that is not too short. Making sure that whatever you're writing is like as crisp as possible, and divide it in like different sections. So if you're talking about a certain topic and it covers like five, six things, you can use proper emojis and spacing to make it a very easy to skim through thread. Like add space after one topic is over, and then add some red emoji that can differentiate between both of it. And then in the end, just write that you can retweet the first one. This is like the basic structure that you can follow.
Okay, yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
Mm.
And I think we have another good question here. Like, how frequently should we post on Twitter? And I remember you saying at the start, maybe the tweets don't matter as much, and then as you grow bigger audience, your tweet matters. So for a beginner, so how frequently should he or she post if they're just starting out?
My ideal number is like 4 to 5 times a day or 3 to 4 times a day. But let's say if you have more content, there's nothing wrong in tweeting 5, 6 times as well if it's like very short or something. But then don't spam your audience as well because they are gonna unfollow. But I think minimum should be once, twice, at least once. Average should be like 3 to 4 times a day.
Yeah, okay, that's 3 to 4 times a day. Awesome. Yeah. So another question is from Saksham Pathak. So can we repurpose content for Twitter, or do we need to make a separate type of content for it? So, or can we like just have the same content and then post like a long form on LinkedIn and then post a thread in Twitter? Does it work that way?
I think you can, of course. Like, I'm a huge fan of not a huge fan, but like I'm all pro repurposing content. If it saves your time, if it saves your energy, there's no harm in doing that. Like, as long as, uh, like, I think everyone should do it. In general, very straightforward.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Mm.
And Chris, let's get this. What about if people plagiarize your content? So how does that work? You cannot. I think you cannot stop that, but should we just keep tweeting and not care about that, or what in your personal experience have you been like plagiarized content and
Uh,
experience with that?
Okay, yes. So I write very relatable tweets. So like I think there were 2, 3 instances where somebody, like some people, just literally copy pasted the tweet, and once they like changed up the formatting and then posted. Now this is very subjective. Like it's a question you need to ask yourself. Do you really want to put your energy into just like going after somebody who's copying one tweet, or do you want to put that energy into like writing more content? For me personally, it was writing more content and then posting, even though like one of them got like more engagement, like a lot more engagement than I got, but I never really cared about it. But I think some people do call these people out. You can always do that. You can always retweet and give it, and then give a link of your tweet and show that they are wrong or something. But again, it's like it's a question you need to ask yourself: like, do you really want to do this or not? But yeah, that's pretty much it.
Yeah, makes a lot of sense. I think if you have a lot of content, at some point, people would know like you're the one who's actually posting stuff, right? And
Yeah.
yeah, okay. So we have this is one experiment we could do is that we have so many people in the audience that they could start their first tweet by maybe tagging BlueLearn and speaking about the session, and let's see the engagement there, right? And also, guys, if you have more questions, we could just tag me and ask it in the mic session section, and I would try answering from Yashvi.
Yeah.
So also a question from my side, I guess. So who are the Twitter accounts that you admire and follow, or you suggest that everybody follows?
Um, okay, I'll give a few ones that are there in the marketing space because that's what I follow as well, and then and a few startup founders. One, of course, you just have to follow Naval on Twitter. That's like Naval's like the OG Twitter person.
Yeah.
Second, for marketing, there's this account. Her name is Amanda. I think you'll find it like she has some 80-90K followers. She posts really good content. Then there is like Adit Sheth who tweets about growth, who tweets about the content, organic marketing, and Twitter growth. Then I guess. I also, okay, I'm forgetting names. Just give me a second. I can just open up the list.
Yeah, Naval is definitely the OG Twitter. Like I think
Yeah.
there's a Finch how to get rich without getting lucky.
Yeah, there's this founder of FinFlow, Aryan. You can follow him. Then Mitesh Dubey, he's a good friend. He posts really good content. Then there's Mustafa Kunmiri, again, marketing person. Then, so see, a lot of people are there, like Jeremy Moser, who tweets like really good threads. It again completely depends on what exactly you want to consume. For me, it was always marketing and growth. So those are the people that I followed. For you, it can be some founders or somebody who's into finance or something. So just keep exploring and you'll find good accounts there.
Yeah, makes a lot of sense. Yeah. So
yeah.
So do you want to say more stuff? Like, is there anything else? And guys, if you still have any more questions, you could tag us and we will try. I will ask Yashvi for sure. And
there's a question that says, can tweeting free mind bring any troubles tweeting under Twitter guidelines? I mean, you should always tweet under Twitter guidelines. As simple as that. Apart from that, you can tweet about whatever you want.
Yeah, I did.
Yeah. Also, just one thing to mention, like even after the event, if you all have any other questions or if you get stuck somewhere later on, you can always send in a DM on Twitter and I can help you out there. Just don't send like a random hi, hello. Just write exactly what you need help with and I'll make sure that I try to help. And if you like the session, of course, tweet about BlueLearn and tweet about and tag me as well. I'll engage with the content or something like that. But yeah.
Yeah. So let's we have a question saying how to grow on Twitter as a video editor. So there's so many niches in Twitter. Is there something like, okay, like if you're selecting a particular niche, so how do you grow on that niche alone? Is that possible?
Yes, in fact, it's a really good idea to do that, growing in a particular niche. For me, so as a musician, Twitter didn't have that much to do before Spaces started, and even if we consider fit of the content that you're posting or where you are showcasing your talent or what you're talking about, I think it becomes much easier for people to follow you on a particular niche base rather than like a generic account that is there. As for the video editor, just keep experimenting. You can try out tweeting about how you edit videos, or maybe write threads about that, or something like a review or something like a full thread of that. Maybe try posting some video with that as well, or maybe start engaging with the same accounts and see what they are posting. You can also just create like funny videos or something, and that can also work out well. Like always keep experimenting and see what works out well for your account, and I think even that niche or any other niche will fit in well.
Awesome. Yeah. So let's. I think if there's one last thing you want to say is about like growing on Twitter. What would that be? Like one small tweet. Like give us a tweet. Like 280 characters, a very short thing that you could say that would definitely help everyone here grow on Twitter. There's something like that.
So it's a little so this is something that not just on Twitter but everywhere will help. Don't just keep helping out other people whenever you can, without expecting any return of investment that you're doing of your time or anything else. I think that always pans out well, and it's the same with Twitter, especially Twitter. In fact, just keep helping other people out in terms of your the things that you are good at, or engagement, or just promoting other people and what they are doing. So this is what the core aspect of building a network and building a community is as well. Like if you keep helping other people out, they're gonna like you. They're gonna always wanna help you. So keep that in mind, and just start tweeting. Like don't think too much about what you want to tweet about and what should be like the perfect first tweet. There's no such thing like that. Just start and you'll keep figuring things out on your way, and that's how it has worked out for me. So that's pretty much it.
Okay. That's great advice for sure. And yeah, I think the three things people should keep in mind is content, engagement, and building a network. Go with one final question from like the audience, which is it fine to switch niches in the middle but keep sticking to the same account in Twitter?
I wouldn't recommend it, but if you're doing it, make sure that you're doing it very smoothly. I've done it. I'm still doing it. I'm in the process of doing it. And it's not really panning out the best for me, but it's not so bad as well. So it's better to keep one account than create another for like a completely different niche.
Great. Yeah. So what is one of your favorite tweets?
I don't have favorite tweets. I just keep reading a lot of things. Yeah.
Cool. Thanks a lot for your time. And you can always follow her on Instagram, your Twitter, guys, and other social media platforms too. And you can tweet about BlueLearn. That will be a way to start, I guess, and maybe about this event. So yeah, thanks for joining us.
And thanks so much for inviting. Yeah, thanks a lot for inviting me, and thanks to everyone who joined as well. That's pretty much it. I hope this was helpful, and all right. Thanks a lot. Yeah.